Meeting, and we've got obviously agenda item 16.1, which is the legislative advice for the incoming council. Can I ask Nicole? Good morning, Nicole.
Good morning, thank you. Thank you, Mayor Gray, councillors and members of the public who will be watching online. So the paper here before you, again, I will take it as read because there's an awful lot of information there, and the purpose of it is really just to give you a summary of some of the key pieces of legislation that we as a council work within and that you work through in your governance role. If there are any specific questions, I'm happy to take them, but this is an information thing that you can tuck away now in the back of all your emails and information, and as we go forward through your training, it's something for you to refer back to as the process you've entered for those that are new onto council and the various legislative requirements and information that we bring up and other processes that we follow. I'll leave it at that, but if there's any questions, I'm happy to take them.
Any questions for Nicole? Councillor Guilford.
It's just more of a comment. Thank you. This has been really nice to see all the legislation summarised in simple language and really helpful, and it kind of backs up everything we've done in our training, but I'm grateful to have it all condensed like this, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
There's not. That's simple. Thanks for that, Nicole.
You're welcome.
Have a recommendation on page 12 that the legislative advice for the incoming council report is accepted. I have movement of second. Moved Councillor Begg, seconded Councillor Stevens. Put the motion, all in favour say aye. Aye. Against? Carried. Thank you for that. Moving on to agenda item 16.2, which is the appointment of the Deputy Mayor and Council Committee members for 25 to 28. I have made some minor changes to the agenda in as far as I have put Councillor Stevens on the Chief Executive's Review Committee and I have removed Councillor Guilford off the Trackways Committee. Paul, I was interested, would you be interested in doing the Waimate Trackways Committee?
If it would help, sure.
Yeah, well, I think it ties in nicely with the Waimate Together one, because I think they're going to be looking after the tracks in the future, that sort of thing.
That's on the next report.
Oh, sorry, that's on the next one. Oh, sorry, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Oh, yeah. Right, so getting back to what I should be looking at, which is the appointment of the Deputy Mayor, and also the appointment of council committees. So as you can see there, the only change there is Councillor Stevens, and we have
in place of which councillor?
Oh, sorry, in place of Councillor Begg, and that's the only one there. And we noted the comments made by Sandy and Stacey around the rural water scheme, so we put vote on that. Comments, Tina, that you think you want to add?
No, thank you.
Any questions at all?
The only question I had is the status of the Hacker and Kettle Creek water schemes. Obviously, I presume that'll be sorted out when Three Waters goes through.
Yes, it will be, and probably ask Dan's advice on that. What's the future of? Are they looking to take that over and become an independent water supplier, or?
Yeah, effectively, they operate as an incorporated society at the moment.
Right. Yep.
So moving forward, I would say that would remain the model, so they'll be picked up.
Yep. So it's not likely to fall within our water services plan.
No.
No.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Any other questions? If there's not, we have a substantial recommendation on page 16. And that we won't bother reading out. I take it that you've all had a look at it.
I'm happy to move that recommendations 1, 2, 3 and 4 are accepted with the change that there's a move to replace Councillor Stevens with Councillor Begg.
Okay.
Councillor Begg with Councillor Stevens.
Thank you for that. That's just been moved. Councillor Guilford, seconded. Councillor Stevens, I'll put the motion. All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Congratulations, Deputy Mayor Sandy?
But I'd say that, step it up.
Thank you, I'm just conscious I've got big shoes to fill, so I'll do my best.
Thank you for that. Moving on to item 16.3, which is representatives to external groups and organisations. Again, happy to take it as read with that minor change with Councillor Harrison. In place of Councillor Guildford. Is there any questions in relation to the external committees? If there's not, I'm happy to move recommendations 1 and 2 with amendments. Seconder, Councillor Small, put the motion, all in favour say aye. Aye. Against? Carried. Thank you for that. Tina, did you want to speak to the
Schedule of meetings?
Yep.
Sure. Yes, item 16.4 on page 20, I believe it is. So we're required by legislation to ensure that the schedule of meetings for the next year is presented to council at the inaugural meeting. We've also included the schedule of meetings for the remainder of this calendar year. Inevitably, there's always some flexibility that needs to be maintained. There can be things outside of anyone's control, such as availability of the chair of a particular committee or the timing of an audit opinion arriving that can sometimes impact on our meeting schedule, and we need to provide for that flexibility that sometimes things will move. As has previously been discussed through training, we try to stick to Tuesdays, but there are some exceptions. It's just how it is. We do our best. We'll take the report as read and just ask if there's any questions.
I think the big thing is, as Tina said, we try to do Tuesdays, but unfortunately legislation and timing quite often gets in the way of things. So we'll give you as much notice as we possibly can if there is any additional meetings required for non-Tuesdays or out of sync training or meetings. So has anybody got any questions in relation to the meeting schedule? No? Okay, so we have a recommendation on page 21. 1, that we adopt the report, and 2, that the meetings for the remainder of 25, the Waimate District Schedule meeting 26 be adopted as presented or with amendments. I think that is as presented. We have any amendments? Have a mover? Yeah. Move Councillor Small, second Councillor Begg. Put the motion, all in favour say aye. Aye. Against? Carried. Moving on to agenda item 16.5, which is the Councillor Remuneration Pool Allocation. Tina.
Okay, so this will be new to some of you, of course, with it being a new council. So I have included some background information around the principles that the Remuneration Authority applies in determining what the value of the remuneration pool is. That's what they call the value of funds that is to be used for paying councillors. The mere salary is independent of that. Positions of responsibility can be identified and remunerated at a higher rate. In conjunction with the Mayor, we have a proposal included in the paper that the Deputy Mayor role is identified as a position of additional responsibility. And that role will be remunerated at a ratio of 1.25 to the councillor-based remuneration. We must spend the whole pool. We're obliged to and obligated. The balance of the pool is, as per this proposal, is that it's shared equally amongst the remaining councillors. I think that's all I have to say on that, unless there's any questions.
Thanks for that. And probably just a comment from me is that I think it's a fair, or not so much fairer, but a clearer way to just identify the one position of additional responsibilities. I know some councils have extra remuneration for chairs and deputy chairs of committees and things like that. We don't have those committees. And I know from past experience that can set up a bit of a competition as to who wants to be chairs and deputy chairs for the remuneration. So that's why I just take the deputy mayor and then just divide the remaining pool up amongst the councillors. I believe that we should all work as hard as each other, and that that should be remunerated as such. So, any questions that anybody has in relation to this? It's nice and simple. So we have a recommendation on page 25 that the council remuneration pool allocation report is accepted. The council approves a proposal to be submitted to the Remuneration Authority for the allocation of governance remuneration pool as follows. A and B. So I have somebody move the recommendation. Move Councillor Guildford, seconded Councillor Hall. I'll put the motion. All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried.
I just add one supplementary
sorry,
note
yes.
is that we cannot put this into effect until it's gazetted.
Yeah.
So it has to be in legislation. So from here, as per the report,
Yeah,
it is
so
submitted,
now it goes to the
submitted,
Remuneration Authority for their approval.
and then eventually finds its way into legislation, which is anticipated pre-Christmas. So at that point, the agreed remuneration will be applied and backdated where appropriate.
Thanks for that, Tina. Moving on to, I was going to say, do we really need to wait that until?
Yes, we're going to have to adjourn because that's been scheduled for 1 p.m. for the adoption of the annual report, which we cannot do without an audit opinion.
Yeah, and that, so look at that, we're running that efficiently, but we cut all the business out in about 10 minutes and now we're going to have to adjourn the meeting. So in due course, I will adjourn the meeting until 1 p.m. when we have the auditor coming to join us, and by that stage hopefully we should have an opinion in writing from the audit team. So I'll adjourn the meeting. Thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen. We do have lunch scheduled for 12:15.
Yes.
And that, so if you've got something you want to go and do for an hour and then come back again, I apologise for the...
Uh,
Yeah.